Object A starts its motion from the ground and it's thrown vertical upwards at an initial velocity of u. All right, so let's take the time in the stopwatch as t equal to 0. We know the object is going to go up and it's going to come back down, right? No problem with that. Right. At the meantime, object B was thrown at the same initial velocity from the same level. All right, but 2 seconds after object A was thrown. 2 seconds after object A was thrown. So object B is also going to go up, but it will be following object A. And both of them will have identical motions because we normally ignore AR resistance. So regardless of their masses, if their initial velocities are same, if A is reaching a height of h, B will also reach a maximum height of h. If total time taken for A to reach the initial position t is t, same time will be taken by B. But the thing is, B was thrown 2 seconds after A. So in this question, when A reaches the maximum height, see if you can understand. When A reaches the maximum height. So the question is, what is the distance between A and B when A reaches maximum height? So A will be at the maximum height, and we all know the velocity of A by that time is 0. And B will be behind A, definitely. Both started here. Both A and B, they started here at the initial velocity of u. But the difference is A started when time is equal to 0 on the clock. B started when time is equal to 2 seconds in the clock. Now, when A reaches the maximum height, it will have a velocity of 0. Then talking about B, at that time, what can we say about B? At that time, we can say this. B will be 2 seconds behind A. Okay. And the other thing we can mention is, since, wait, I think it should have been written on top now. Since A and B have same initial velocity, their motions will be identical. Okay, so at this point, B will be 2 seconds behind A. B will take 2 more seconds to reach the maximum height. I hope you guys understood this. Okay, now A has reached the maximum height. Both A and B have identical motions because they have the same initial velocity. So if A is at the maximum height, B will reach the maximum height in another 2 seconds because B is 2 seconds late compared to A. All right. So at that time, the velocity of B should be how much? Should be 20 meters per second. Because I'll continue here. So B will take 2 more seconds to reach the maximum height. So at this instance, velocity of B is 20 meters per second. Why is that? Because of the gravity. The gravity is 10 ms minus 2. Every second, when an object moves vertical upwards against gravity, its velocity will reduce by 10 meters per second. Okay, so if B is going to reach maximum height within the next 2 seconds, now when A is at the maximum height, B should have the velocity of 20. Then in another second, it will become 10, and in the next second, it will become 0. Okay, so if you consider this subsequent motion of B, it will look like this subsequent motion of B. So what can you say? B is here at 20 meters per second, and eventually it will reach the maximum height. Then it will have a velocity of 0. So I'll take this as initial velocity, and this height is what we need, S. That is the gap between A and B. I hope you guys understand this. That is the gap between A and B when A is at the maximum height. All right. And for B to reach the maximum height, it will take another 2 seconds. It will take 2 more seconds. All right. Now for this instance, you can apply what S equals U plus V over 2 into T. So S equals initial velocity is 20, final velocity is 0 divided by 2 into 2. So the answer is 20 meters. That's how we find it. All right. If you make this, if they make this 3 seconds, then what will happen? If B was thrown after 3 seconds, then what will happen? In case if you throw B after 3 seconds, then the same thing, but now the velocity of B when A is at the maximum height would be 30 meters per second. And it will take another 3 seconds for B to reach the maximum height. And if you are supposed to find S at that time, then S will be equal to U plus V over 2 into T, and that will be 0 plus 30 over 2 into 3, and that is 45 meters. Likewise, you can just change this number and you can keep finding the answer. All right. So that is it. This is how you have to approach the question. If you try to write equations for A and B separately and try to solve this, I think it's going to get really complicated because we don't know U, a lot of complications. So if you can do like this, you can do it without complicating this. So the final answer for this particular question is 20 meters. And if it is 3 seconds instead of 2, 45. If it is 4 seconds instead of 2, it will be how much? 0 plus 40 divided by 2 into 4. That will be 80. Likewise, you can find the answer.